If you enjoy spending a little time in the kitchen and playing with recipes, you can have a lot of fun with recipe makeovers. Today, I'm going to do a makeover on a popular high-calorie appetizer, a cheesy spinach dip. When you're looking at a recipe to do over, you'll want to first focus in on the high-calorie ingredients, which are usually high in fat. Then you'll want to see if you can either reduce the amount or swap in a healthier substitute. The other thing you want to try to do is see if you can increase the amount of some of the healthier ingredients, like vegetables, or even add some healthy ingredients that aren't in the original version. This spinach dip is traditionally made with cream cheese, sour cream, mayonnaise, parmesan cheese, and very little spinach. For this entire recipe, we're looking at nearly 1,400 calories and more than a half a cup of fat. And that's not counting the calories or fat in the bread or chips that you dip into it. For my makeover, I did 3 things. I swapped the high-fat ingredients for lower-fat ones, I increased the amount of spinach, and I reduced the amount of Parmesan cheese. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with some plain non-fat Greek yogurt, which makes a really good substitute for the sour cream that's in the original recipe because it's creamy and it's smooth. The other thing I'm going to add is some low-fat ricotta cheese. And I'm using this because it's mild and it's creamy, and this makes a good replacement for the cream cheese and for the mayonnaise. I'm going to just start to stir these together a little bit, and I'm going to add some lemon juice. And what that lemon juice is going to do is replace some of the tanginess that you'd normally find in the mayonnaise and also just help to smooth this out a little bit. Just give it a little bit of a stir until it's nice and smooth. And now I'm going to season it. And I just do this really simply. I use a little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh pepper, and then lastly I'm going to season it with some fresh garlic. And if you don't want to use fresh, you can use garlic powder, you can use some onion powder, which also works really well. So I've got that in there. And then the last thing that I did was I reduced the amount of Parmesan cheese. And that's because the original recipe called for a full cup. And I'm just using 1/4 of a cup, which is really plenty, because Parmesan cheese is very strongly flavored. And then the last thing that I'm going to add is my spinach. All I did here, this is just some chopped frozen spinach, and what I did was I thawed it out, and I just put it into a strainer and just kind of pressed it a little bit with the back of a spoon so that I could get most of the liquid out of it. And I'm going to gently stir this up because my bowl's a little bit small. And that's it. Now, one of the other things that you might notice is that this is a lot larger a volume of dip than I have in the original recipe, and that's another way that I've been able to reduce the calories. But the most important thing is that the calories in this recipe, this total recipe, is about 500, and that's for this entire bowl. And remember, my original recipe had about 1,400. But I also have more, so we've got less per serving or less per tablespoon. The other thing that's different about this one is that I'm not going to be serving mine with bread and chips. Instead, I'm going to be serving mine with some raw carrots and some raw cucumbers and have it as a dip that way. Now, I'll be honest with you. Is this as creamy as the original? No. Is it as cheesy as the original? No again. But does it taste great, and will it satisfy your craving when you want some spinach dip but don't want all the calories? Absolutely. Keep in mind that the goal of a recipe makeover isn't to make the new recipe indistinguishable from the original. What you're trying to do is shave some calories from a dish you love and make it healthier so you can enjoy it with a lot less guilt. And don't be surprised if you find you like your new version even better. For more tips on how to make over your recipes at home, see my January 17th post on discovergoodnutrition.com.